difficulties. Okay, sorry for the delay. Had some audio difficulties. Should be good. Telling your girlfriend's working, so I can take a ride over there. I know where you are.
This process is very involved and we take it very seriously. We do feel we hire the best and we put a great deal into our interviewing and training process. Multiple training sessions for all departments are mandatory. We team up with the Department of Health to kick off our training season with a drowning prevention seminar for our lifeguards. We move into weekly drill sessions for the guards, which are a minimum of 6 weeks. Additionally, our guards do conditioning training at work. I am confident, as I know, we are the most heavily trained waterfront staff in our area. Our gate and concession staff also take multiple training sessions, and our day camp do a full day boot camp and additional first aid trainings. Multiple camp staff are trained in advanced first aid. We always go well beyond the minimum health department requirements. The minimum is 1 advanced first aid for every 100 campers. We will carry 5 advanced first aid trained staff members this year. We also do team building, and this year I have instituted a staff recognition program. Let's talk about camp registration numbers. Our day camp will serve 431 campers in total this summer over 3 two-week sessions, the biggest camp we have ever offered. 77 campers will also be attending the early drop-off program. Our camp registration closed out in 3 minutes, with 41 campers immediately on the wait list. Sadly, that means that we currently cannot meet the need of our Lagrange community. That program generates approximately $146,000 in revenue. I will point out that's before expenses. But our camp is incredibly successful. We're constantly working to improve our camp experience and add quality staff. This year we have 4 teachers on staff and several college students on an education track. We recruited heavily to fill the nature program director this year and are excited about our new program room and our nature program building coming into the park. Thank you so much for the support of both of those projects. Let's talk about Freedom Lake. To date in revenue, not including our May numbers, we have made a little over $36,000 in lake pass sales. Non-resident lake passes sold out in early May, capping at 200. That converts to 493 people on those passes. Resident passes sold to date are 319 passes, converting to 686 people. Resident sales obviously continue, we don't sell out resident passes. Typically, we sell an average of 450 resident passes in a season, with peak sales hitting the week before the 4th of July. We still have a lot of season passes to sell. We have seen an increase in season passes, both residents and non-residents, which is very interesting. Our senior population is growing in the region. Popular at the lake have been the addition of the large play toys that we added last year, a truck climber, a giant Connect 4, an outdoor playhouse, and a caterpillar climber. If you're not regular to the lake, you don't know what I'm talking about, but they're incredibly popular in the kids' love them. The concession stand is off to a great start this summer. I'm very happy to report. I'm happier to have recruited and gotten an incredible manager on board, and she's doing a great job. We have added pizza and chicken fingers this year, which are also popular. We configured our concession stand, brought in some new equipment. Also, the relocation of the tractor beverage machine for better product placement is seeing a big rise in that product sale. Other programs keeping us busy this summer, some of which generate revenue, most of which actually, lifeguard courses, our CPR training, nature programs, basketball camps, swim lessons, swim team, of course our pavilion rentals, and some senior programs. Another area of the department that requires significant management is the coordination of the sports leagues and management of fields and facilities. I'm a liaison to all the leagues, and Trish coordinates all field usage with the adult leagues. No small task. We work to make sure that the contracts are in compliance and that all needs are met. This does have its challenges, as you are aware. Field lining and maintenance for regular play, along with coordination of tournaments and special requests, all run through our department. We have run into weekend challenges, something which we will be looking at in the coming months. Finally, I want to touch on areas of need within the department and the community, something that's very important, part of why I wanted to come to this meeting tonight to share with you, as we're moving into budget season. It's my budget season, which comes before your budget season. I spend a great deal of time both preparing the budget and managing the budget throughout the year. People laugh at me when I say it's one of my favorite aspects of my job, and truly is. I take my budget very seriously. I enjoy creation of the budget. I enjoy management of the budget. It truly is my blueprint and my game plan for everything that I do throughout the year. First, I will say I feel that we are underserving our senior population. This year saw our first senior bus trip, and it was incredibly successful. We heard from many that they want more trips, they want more programs, and they absolutely want a space to meet in their own town. We have known this for a while. We have a joint center with Pleasant Valley that meets in their town hall once a week. We do subsidize that shared program, but very few of our seniors are traveling there to attend. We have studied this out over the last year and a half. I feel very strongly that we need to find space in our own community for our seniors to gather. I have been looking at all available space to lease to try to find something here that we can use for that purpose that is still to be identified. A commitment needs to be made to make this a priority. Our seniors want to be in their own town. We have heard this from so many over the past year and a half. This brings me to my next need for space, the recreation office. We are completely maxed out for space. If you have been past our window or down the hall downstairs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We are constantly shifting boxes, biddings, and bags. I will tell you, the space is unsafe, it is unprofessional, and it is inefficient. 2/3 of the year we work in transition. Furthermore, we are in great need of adding a part-time employee to assist with our workload. There is no place downstairs to put another body. As the working conditions for us are challenging at best right now. I have said this to Alan, and he knows this to be true. I am very proud that we save very little. We don't complain, we just maneuver through and around and we get our job done. But it's really not okay, and it's really not manageable for the long term. Additionally, we share a hallway with another incredibly busy and very active department. We're regularly in a log jam in the hallway with customers trying to do business in both departments and employees. You literally need to back people out of the door to let people in. There's significant need for recreation space in town, offices, and a community center. In the short term, in my opinion, lease space needs to be considered to look at the needs of both our seniors and the needs of the Parks and Recreation Department. We crank out an incredible amount of work and the department needs support. In the longer term, a building needs to be built in the town center to hold offices, storage space, and a community center for senior gathering, for programs, and for meetings. It is a critical need. Finally, Stringham Park is in great need of paving. This is my 10th year here, and since my arrival, that park has been patched, holes filled, little repairs done to get us by. Rain comes, the patches fail, and we go back at it again. We keep throwing money at it to try to get us through to the next season. We can't keep getting by on that. I've expressed my concerns. It has been discussed for quite some time. It has been on every single Recreation Advisory Board meeting agenda this year. We've discussed it with the boards of both soccer and lacrosse. It is a capital project that needs attention. Phone calls come in from upset park patrons, cars get damaged. It is time to pay attention and look deeper. It's not a budget item that I submit, it is larger than that. Sherman Park is a premier facility. We host regional events bringing in visitors from multiple states. If we don't upkeep what we have, these facilities will become tired and neglected. It's becoming an eyesore. We're also constantly battling dangerous holes, and it needs a plan. I'm not here to complain, I'm here to express so everyone understands the needs of this department and the needs of our parks. I'm asking the board to just acknowledge our Parks and Recreation Department is very far-reaching. I know that you support us, so this is not meant to be bashing. It's meant to ensure that everybody clearly understands the work we do, the volume of work that we put out, but truly the needs of the department. We touch many lives, from those we serve, to those who work for us, to those who visit from out of the area. We have great impact in this community, and we are very high visibility. The success of our department matters. The board needs to know what's happening in the department in order to understand our needs. Without regular reports, I have concern that you don't fully understand what we're always doing out there on a daily basis. And why would you? You have your own work and your own demands on a daily basis. And thank you for the time to present this overview tonight and to express our immediate areas of need. And I ask you to strongly consider these issues moving forward. I know they're not small concerns, I do understand that, but they are indeed critical areas of need. Questions?
Reynolds Mills building, is that able to do anything?
We looked at the Red Oaks Mill building years ago. We've had it studied out by our engineer.
My recollection is
Very
the assessment was that it was not a big difference in cost between putting it in that.
Correct.
Because it's not really a building meant for habitation. It was built as like a farm stand, so it's really, in order to bring it up to code, we wouldn't be saving a whole lot of money, like I said, bulldozing it and just building it from scratch, because it really wasn't built as a public building. So it doesn't really save us money, it's a good question, but we looked into it a number of years ago.
We did, and we
Went through the whole trouble of having it looked at and
Professional
estimate
look at.
for what, we've done, so that's probably not us.
So there are Recreation Advisory Board members here tonight. Melissa Wagner, Jeff Bellman, Paul Dowie. I know at least Paul wanted to say a couple of words. Does he have the opportunity to do that at this point?
Sure, it's on the same topic, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Thank you.
Well, Barry, I just want to say, we're so fortunate, we're blessed. The town of Lagrange has the best parks in Dutchess County. And a lot of this was due to 30 years with Peter Huff as recreation director. And now Sandy is taking over, doing a great job. She's got two great helpers downstairs, Ash and Tracy. And wonderful group of maintenance people. But recreation needs more help from everyone. We have to maintain our parks, our ball fields, and get the young children off social media and get them off their phones. That's all I have to say. We really have to work on that.
Thank you.
And just a couple issues. First of all, I see the department needs and the growth that Recreation and Parks has made over the years, because I have kids that grew up in the park and went to swimming lessons and all that, but the change from then to now, because now I have a granddaughter, so I'm tired, so I spend a lot of time in the parks. And Stringham is definitely, I know the paving, I understand the complexities about funding and monies for it, but it is dangerous. I spend a lot of time there. I don't know if any of you go there, but I go there around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, and there's probably about 20, through like a 2-hour period, 20 to 30 families come in and out with small kids. If it has rained the day before, parking is a nightmare because there's just puddles. And if you have a 3 or 4-year-old, you know what they want to do, don't you? It's a disaster. It really does need to be taken a look at. I know it's very expensive, but it's something that really, really needs to be looked at. As far as space, and this might be a little bit late, but I talked to the guy who's got the plans from Stewart, and I'm sorry I'm gonna bring this up. But, Stewart's way back in many instances and in many communities also attached a community building. I don't know how much space that they're looking at out there. But like out in Clement Quarters, I believe they have a community space, which would be really ideal for seniors. So it's just, it popped in my head when, we were talking, but it's something that maybe you wanna look at. I don't know how far along they are in the plans, if it's something that will happen, but, I know that they've done that in many communities, so it's something to look at. As far as the office, a lot of times because of events, before them, I'll come down, register, or talk to the staff down here. The space, again, how many times have we moved people around in this building? I think, I know that there's 4 times that we juggle, but, I know that there's been some plans we've talked about at different times, building an extension plan over here in the field. I know that economy, it's not the best time to have to do this stuff, I understand that. It's nice to be on this side and not have to worry about the budget, that's your problem. But it is something the community really has to look at. We need more space in this building, probably not just for that department, but for other departments. And, it's time to grow in that sense, because Lagrange has had a great reputation, we provide great services, and to do that, you need the space to allow your staff to do what they do in the shop. So, just some thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you.
One more. I'm Jeff Feldman. I think if I'm correct, that the only 2 people who've been involved in recreation in the town of Lagrange longer than I, that are in this room, are Mr. Luna and Paul Derrick. I first became involved with Lagrange soccer before there was a Stringham Park. I was the president. I got on the soccer board in 1994, became president in 1996 or 95, and was the president of Lagrange soccer, I think until 2010 and 11, and remained on the board off and on of the soccer board until last year. I've been on the recreation committee more than 20 years. The origination of Stringham Park was a dream, and the town purchased the land, and the town obviously graded and seeded the land, but all of the other expenses for the creation of that park were borne by Lagrange Soccer and the grants that Lagrange Soccer got. So that included the yearly maintenance, the creation and the construction of the irrigation system, and the building that's at Stringham Park was all done through funds that were raised by Lagrange Soccer or grants from the United States Soccer Federation. As I indicated to you when I spoke to you in October about my friend Bob Wagner, Stringham Park has been written up in the New York Times as the envy of any park. And Mr. Wagner used to say to me that when he went to these different meetings of town supervisors, nobody ever heard of Lagrange. But when he mentioned Stringham Park, everybody knew where he came from because everybody knew about soccer tournaments that were held at Stringham Park. I still go to Stringham Park. It's my happy place. At Stringham Park on a Saturday or a Sunday are hundreds of people. The people that attend Stringham Park are young families, people with little kids, grandparents who have canes and walkers and in wheelchairs, people with varying degrees of disabilities. That parking lot is an accident that happens and is waiting to happen. And it is not fitting for there to be a parking lot of that condition next to playing fields that are in pristine condition. I totally get, we've had conversations about that parking lot for more than 20 years. I understand how expensive it is. I know that everybody wishes that it was blacktop a long time ago when it was cheaper, but it wasn't done, that's water under the bridge. But it is something that needs to be seriously considered and to be taken care of. And I'll just say one more thing. In my years of dealing with recreation, I never ever thought that there would be another Peter Hoff. I never thought that there would be anybody in this town who could hold a candle to Peter Hoff. We have a rock star here. She's amazing. And she needs to be commended. The stuff that she does and she gets accomplished is absolutely incredible. Thank you.
Final comments. Now we've got an amazing team, and I absolutely will always say that. Can't do anything alone, and the team in the Bridge Parks and Rec is absolutely stellar. The last thing I want to say is that I will continue to come to you and ask for things, because that's my job. I will continue to ask for money for projects that I think are important, because I continually strive to, grow the Spark system, to, be more, to be better, because I just want our parks to be best. I want it to, and I absolutely believe they are. That's why I came back. Because, certain things just can't hold a candle to what's here, and I truly believe that. It's absolutely. It's just. And I thank you for the support. I'm gonna continue to ask you for money. That's my job. I'm gonna continue to ask for projects. But it's not lost on me the support that I've had here in the years that I've been here. As a former county legislator, I sat in multiple communities where I would come back and I would say to the supervisor, boy, I'm grateful to be in this community, because all communities don't have the support for parks and recreation, don't have the support for programs, don't have support for highway, the different things. And this town continues to do that. And I want you to continue to do that, because it's really important. I leave and I go to, I cross this town line, I don't live in this town. But I'm still grateful to come to work in this town. And there's a lot of good reasons for that. Of course, for me, the best reason for best parks, because that's my job. But I want to continue to push programs forward and have the best parks here. And we do, but it needs to stop. It's the best. Thank you.
And thank you, Tim.
Next up, we have a letter of resignation from Paul Scaglia for our planning board. Do I have a motion to accept the resignation with regrets?
Motion?
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Carried. Next up is a resume for an applicant to take his place. I have a motion to appoint Steve Bonzik as a planning board member to fill Paul Scaglia's unexpired term.
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Carried. Next up is a request from our assessor's office asking for us to authorize the hiring of a part-time assessor's aide 3 days a week. Some background on this. Eddie, who's worked in the assessor's office for a number of years, has been out for medical reasons for about 2 months now, I think. We got a doctor's report back Monday. The doctor report said that she is not cleared to return for work, and that status will be reevaluated at her next doctor's visit, which is scheduled for the end of September. So we've been kind of limping along without her for a while, but that means that 2 days those offices are closed to the public, and I think this is probably a prudent thing to do.
Bill Allen, was it temporary
Yeah.
position for them?
Yes, yeah.
It was a 10.
Yeah.
Temporary position pending her, return.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. At $19 an hour, yeah. Do I have a second? Second, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, thanks. Next up, we have been notified by our receiver of taxes that our deputy receiver of taxes is planning on retiring. And for reasons that I'm not quite sure, the state doesn't allow you to actually, I think it's our policy actually, it doesn't allow people to give us more than 30 days notice. I'm not sure what the point of that is. I don't think she's leaving in 30 days, I think it's more like 60 days, but she's thankfully giving us a heads up so we have a chance to hire a replacement. And so we're just being asked to advertise for a full-time deputy receiver of taxes.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Do we want the salary in there? $27.
Want to put a specific salary or range?
A range.
So maybe, I don't know, 25 to 29, you said 27, so we'll just put a couple of bucks on the side.
25 to 29?
Yeah, all right, thanks. Next up, we have a request to replace the picnic table that is outside the town hall by town employees who pretty regularly eat lunch there, and we're getting splinters and such because the old thing is falling apart. We have an estimate here for a quote here for $11.93. I'm gonna suggest that we do this and we take the money out of the budget line item for town board contract. They have we can spend money, is it town board?
Town board contractual.
Contractual, to the tune of $11.93. Do I have a motion?
Second.
All fair? Aye. All opposed? Carried. Next up is a request to surplus a rack down in our IT cabinet. What we're hoping is that our IT folks will be able to find another one of their clients to purchase this for us. It's not that it's completely worn out, it's just that with the rearranging of the equipment we've done over the last year or so, this rack is no longer needed because of changes in the equipment that we put in there. They have other clients, and they said that they think they should be able to replace it. And so, but the process for doing that is we have to declare it as surplus equipment in order to be able to sell it. And so, do I have a motion to the highest bidder, right? Your agenda says to set a specific amount. I have no idea what that amount would be, so I would say that we should just authorize them to try to get somebody to buy it for the maximum amount of money they can get. Okay. That work?
Yeah.
All right.
That's the offer.
Right.
So who's making the motion? Second.
All fair? All opposed? Carried. We have a couple of budget amendments to discuss. This really has to do with the different budget changes to pay for the equipment that we were discussing. The two top ones have to do with equipment for parks and rec, and the ones at the bottom are for the both to appropriate fund balance for the pickup truck and the highway edger, and lastly the budget amendments associated with the bond resolutions that we approved previously. So do I have a motion to accept the budget amendments? Did I make the motion? Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Carried. Okay. That concludes the agenda. Any town board comments or discussion? Anything from the town attorney?
The legislative aid reminded me today that, I need to get you the proposal for law on keeping of chickens, so I should have that before the next agenda. That's something that we discussed a couple times in the past.
Yes.
thanks. Do I have a motion to open public comment?
You call me on that, perfection on it? I might go have to go with that, all right?
I'm sorry, do I have a motion in second? All in favor? Aye, all opposed, carried. Public comments and questions? Sir? Ben?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Here's that we give.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much.
I'll try to be extended short and comments. I want to thank you for bringing up the point about the solar panels and the students' ground mounting. I would urge the board to think about some kind of code for solar farms. They might be coming soon, I'm not sure.
Our code has a whole section in it related to commercial solar as well. If the board thinks that that legislation is missing elements or is not adequate, I strongly recommend that you send us a letter with your recommendation. If you think that there's two main sections in the solar code. One has to do with residential, and the other has to do with commercial. They have a whole different set of definitions, and there's a whole different set of regulations that have to do with commercial solar installations, which I don't believe we've ever had to actually implement.
That makes a good point.
So if you're looking at it, you have it was put together a little while ago, so, and it was based on a model law out of the state, so if you think there's stuff that may not be adequate, and now would be a good time to fix it rather than discover it's inadequate in the middle of reviewing a project. I agree with that.
Exactly, so I've driven up and down.
Oh, I agree.
82
I agree.
In Hopewell,
They're
so you got a
exactly.
solar farm up on the hill, and, going gas speed-wise.
Anyway, right.
It's for the visual impact, so,
I agree with that.
I just wanted to.
You guys, a couple of things, you guys wanna take a peek at that and make some recommendations on that?
Yeah.
It's a great thing. I don't know what's in it, but you guys might wanna take a peek at that, and I agree, what's been done is not right. Thank you so much.
If you wanted to say something?
Walt Scusa from Rossway Road. First of all, point, is it limited to 3 minutes per person per item on the agenda? Or
3
total?
minutes per person.
Just total?
Yep.
Okay, just want to clarify that. I'll talk quick. For the Parks and Recreation space, has we looked at renting someplace in town where there's space?
I
Is
believe
there still
that's
space in town
what she
for-
meant when she said lease space.
Okay, right.
Just did that, I think that.
With the regards to the county crossings, at Rossway Road, that road is like, down to the mountain is like 2/3 town of Lagrange and 1/3 town of Pleasant Valley, I would say. So it kind of impacts people in Lagrange. I cross it every day. There was a Michigash today at like 5:30 when I went across. I called Department of Transportation, Traffic and Safety, and talk to someone. If you want, I could email you that contact. And I iterated to them that they should not only put down wires for counts, but to use cameras, because I didn't think the wires were gonna give them an overview of people stopping in the northbound lane and going all over the place. So that was that. On the moratorium, it says, variances. Is that like, relief from variances and everything that's gonna be stopped? If I want relief from a variance of a setback, will that be capped also?
No, that section in the proposed law is specific to seeking a variance from the moratorium while it's in effect.
Because it says subdivision plats.
So it addresses anything that would be in furtherance of getting multifamily or residential mixed use. So the variance section of the law would allow an application to proceed forward. Because right now the moratorium puts a pause on people submitting applications for those
Okay.
uses.
So if I needed a setback variance, I could still get it?
Yes,
In your
that's-
home and that kind of thing?
Yeah.
It would not be affected by
Yeah,
this.
completely separate from
Okay.
different use, yeah.
And in your legislative finding, it says town of Lagrange is rural, largely residential. I found some information online where it's like 62% of respondents think it's, urban, and 38% think it's rural.
Okay.
So, you know, that's just, I guess, people's perceptions or whatever. But, and I think, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
My name is Ellen Wagner, I live on Glenwood Road. I hadn't planned to comment on recreation, but I would just say I think it's wonderful. I know both my kids grew up playing soccer at Lagrange, and it was wonderful. I wish you could expand your camp program. I remember as a working parent having quality summer camp made a huge difference, and obviously there's a tremendous demand. I hope you support that, and it's good too. But I wanted to address the rezoning. I did read your comments about how that area had not been developed. A vestige of our rural character. I think it's okay to leave some areas undeveloped. There's a general, I think with the New York State, there's a CLCP, a discouragement of additional fossil fuel, operations. You know, there's already a gas station there. I don't see why we need a second one. I saw the comment that it's current owner thinks he may go out of business and that is there. I think it's perfectly fine to leave an area less developed, and, you know, if you need to put in a couple of electric vehicle charging stations if you want to have a little convenience store. But I would prefer that backed off. I mean, too late. I did send me some emails, but that's all.
Sir.
Good evening, members of the town board, residents. My name is Christian Gates, and I'm an attorney with Keenan Bean. I'm here on behalf of the gas station across the street. I never knew I was gonna change. I always knew I was never gonna change your hearts. Hopefully the residents would do that, but I sent a bunch of letters pointing out some errors, and it's just unfortunate that, you know, none of those problems or issues were really addressed. There was a 4-paragraph letter submitted by CPL a week after the period for public comment ended. I sent another letter today. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to read it. Again, apologies for the lateness of it, but, you know, it's just disappointing to see that this is the way things have gone. You know, can't go back in time. We could rescind it and, you know, take on a full comprehensive review. Doesn't cost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I've helped other communities do it, anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000. I think that the residents would like that. There has been, you know, this wasn't an application that was offered by the town board. It wasn't spurred by residents. It was spurred by development. And it's really a shame that that's the way this has gone. But again, not my job to, you know, change your hearts, try to point out some errors and ways that could have been rectified, but, you know, town board voted on it. Spent more time talking about the park bench out front of the town hall than on the comprehensive plan, secret, and the local law. That's a little disappointing, but it is what it is. And there's no offense to any town employees. I know that they need their benches for, you know, to get some rest and relaxation. But again, there's more remarks about that than what was adopted here. And it's just, yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say for now. And thank you for your time. Oh, I would like to leave you paper copies of the letter in case you didn't have a chance to read it. Thank you.
Just for the record, to be clear, the letter was received and reviewed.
I have copies for the town board members if they would like it. If you don't want it, that's.
I'm just responding to the implications that it was not read. It was.
Other comments? Yeah.
I do agree with a few people here that Grangeville is a very rural place, always has been. I do not want to become urban, I do not want to become city. If we pass the Stewart's gas station, then there is no way possible that we cannot pass the other 19 properties because there'll be lawsuits against you guys. So, I feel it to be, I want to keep this town as it is. We have, if you think about it, Stewart's, what's it gonna do? I have no clue who owns Zoe's ice cream place right here down the street. I think it was built very nicely, very country looking. That will put her out of business. Mike, whose gas station is diagonally across the street from where Stewart's is going in, that used to be Don and Lil Keating's place years ago, which was a repair shop and gas station. And my family, personally my father, has built long-term relationships with people that had broken down, coming to visit our rural area, coming to visit our apple orchards, our country, and broke down, and even invited them to our houses for barbecues. So I think we should keep this a small country town. It should not be, I do not want to see what's going to happen when we build 19 properties on 55 and 82. Now we're going to have to build 4-lane highways. We're going to have to bring the arterial all the way up to Pauling. I do not want 4-lane highways. What's it going to do to our wells? If we can learn from our neighbors, I know it's not Lagrangeville, but East Fishkill, a half a mile from the Lagrangeville border, had one company that contaminated all of Route 82, all of lower Little Switzerland, which the residents there were mandated to get city water and pay for it every month. And then after they did that, they came back in and filled their wells with concrete. So they can't wash their cars, water their gardens, water their yards, or do anything with their well water. Now they're mandated to do that from one thing, because I think I have not seen anything from this town with an environmental investigation of what this is going to cost our wells, our aquifer, or anything. I think we need a serious investigation from environmental impact big time before any of this happens. And I do not want to see my rural town that I was born and raised, third generation, turn into a city. It's not a city. So I want to keep it the way it's already done. It's already been ruined from what you people zoned in. So most of the stuff has been ruined already. But whatever we have left, I want to keep it that way. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Well, I want to live on 82, about a mile from where they're planning on rezoning, and I don't think that they should, because at the last meeting, they talked about all these safety features and stuff, which is good that they have them, but safety features don't always work, and they can fail. And like she said, they have failed at different places. And I don't want my well contaminated where I have to go to city water. Because city water has a lot of chemicals in it, I have chemical sensitivity. I would have to move from my lifelong home. I just wanna see it kept more rural instead of turned into a city. And earlier you spoke about the problem with the crossings at Todd Hill and Rossway. If we do this, it's gonna cause more problems with more people coming into our area for the commercial part of it. It's gonna cause more accidents. It's gonna cause the roadways to, like she said, become widened. And at the last meeting, you also said that some of the ground wells are already contaminated during the winter with the salting and sanding of roads. If we have commercial buildings with parking lots and they're salting and sanding them, and then we have the roads widened where they're salting and sanding them, that's another way for our wells to be contaminated. So I just wish you would take that into consideration, and I thank you for your time.
Hello, David Machio, Lagrange. So much was spoken about here. I don't know what that's about, I keep mentioning. So, doing research over the past months here, and looking into this, I just noticed just today, I didn't realize that there's also a residential property that's now being rezoned in this spot, rezoned into commercial. And there's already the concern that the other properties are going to either use this as a precedent to change their zoning. I mean, the residential can do that for anybody. What I've seen is that, especially after that great presentation with the parks, I've been coming here for years. The only other person who's spoken and been here all the time with the passion that I have is Sandy. She's here nearly every time that I'm here. And there's obviously money that needs to be put into our parks and rec and into this town. And we're going off of a town plan, a master plan that's over 20 years old. And it's obvious from everyone that we're neglecting our master plan. You're trying to band-aid this one property or 3 properties, just one business, and that's not for the benefit of the town. It's not for the benefit of the master plan. It's actually hurting it because you're gonna fix one thing to solve one problem while neglecting everything else. The town and the money would be better spent on a full master plan. Everyone agrees with that. I don't know why, I feel like you guys didn't agree with it. There's something that they're holding back with. We've approved this, and now that you know that we've been working with the state for the proposed village of Cider Hill, I'd like to offer that it's a relief to that burden that you have to deal with there. The 5582 would be part of Cider Hill, and so would all its content as well. This is a relief for you so that you can spend the money on the master plan and incorporate it with our study for the village and do better for the town. Because as Mr. Vasco said, he thinks it's not growing anymore. And your master plan or whatever you released said that it is growing. So there's obviously a conflict. And that line is what's coming. Everything on the east side is still green, and we can keep it that way, preserve it that way. This is something that helps you. It's relief of the burden. And I hope that you consider it that way. Thank you.
So the motion to close the public comment. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Carried. Last item, you have a letter from Gerald. You may recall when our comptroller left, we gave her a stipend in exchange for the extra work that was being done. She's asking us to consider raising the amount. It turned out that we were without a controller for a lot longer than I think we thought we were, and I think this is a fair amount. You make the motion, or the second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Yep. You can have that. Is there anything else? Do I have a motion to adjourn? Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Carried. Thanks.
Secret final state for 2021, they adopted the comprehensive plan. The meeting started at 7:01 and so like I'm gonna do this whole they can say what they will. Get back to my group. Yes. No matter what they're that last word discussion. There was more Well, I mean, so this exact same goal was here in 2018, and then 2021, and lost to one extension. What's your name? And now it's a new board. Yeah.
All of the same.
It's literally, I mean, the plans literally say like 2018. Like they said, oh, we'll come back with this new board.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, it's their vote. It is. I mean, they adopted the secrecy. Yes, they adopted all the underlying. They still have to go through to the planning board. I mean, you can always try to get them to change their mind. I mean, they can repeal it. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that, like I said, for the gas station across the street for Mike. You know, and one of the things is that like back in 2021, his property is done. So he's a gas station. It's a pre-existing use. Yeah. The Exxon. Yeah. And so it's no, he just owns that one. The one across on the other side, that's owned by someone else. But that one too was included in the 2021. They've excluded all that from this, so it's like they literally did all of this for one. It wasn't to make these non-conforming uses legal. It wasn't to, spur economic development. The only difference between the current zoning and the new zoning is like 25 different automotive uses. And I think you can have a nightclub and a warehouse and stuff, like big industrial uses.
So to answer your question, you have to go on the website now, because now the planning board, which they're not part of, and they're not allowed to be, the planning board has to be next.
Yeah.
Now, because Richie said no, it hasn't been approved by these guys. So the planning board is next. No offense to you, but I hope this never happens. No, I swear to God, this is my hometown. Never gonna happen. Not in 5 years.
No, I'm not with Stuart.
Oh, I thought you said you were with Stuart.
No.
He's with the guy across the street.
Yeah.
Oh, you're with Mike.
Yeah.
That's what used to be John Keating's and stuff. That used to be John and Little Keating's. That's the gas station I talked about.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So you go up to see when the planning board is meeting.
No, I mean, it's not over until the
Website, and look up when the planning board is meeting.
I knew that I was.
When the planning board is meeting, we can come and make them vote it down.
But we were hoping that one or two
It was packed last 2 weeks ago. It was packed. I mean, it was standing room only. And that was the first meeting I was to. I didn't know about the first meeting. Good. Go on the website. When the planning board meets, they have to remove it and then no, that's planning board. Planning board meets once a month.
Not me, I'm not the deputy. So I'm not a deputy.
No.
No, that's okay. Trust me, I wish it was. No idea. Yeah, they're on,
Yeah, no, thank you.
it's every practice counts, and it's like a virtual baseball thing where they have, I only went in last year just to get this started, and I left it. They do all this stuff.
problem is that it's
And they give them 2 hours. They want them to come in for
yeah, they get it. I mean, there's some letters town board, you can try to point out some issues and problems.
To be honest, I thought about driving
So, you know, it's not legislative process to do it, and in order to do that, but I mean,
That's why I remember.
What are we gonna do with it? So, yes, I left early. I told him, we got, he goes to by himself. So he loves to come early, stay in the hospital. Monday when I got home at 4:15, he came out to the garage and followed me around the house because he's like even some. And then yesterday he came out and was like, what stores are we going to? Like he was so excited to go to these stores. So need affordable places to live. I feel like I'm neglecting him. He's home and I'm trying to do something. I'm leaving him alone. And I know I have
yeah, we'll be looking at some plans for, my job is following those numbers.
So is your client willing to
I don't know where the. You know, we gotta discuss it.
It turns into place. The reason I know that is because when you position in the state to hold the state and because it's somebody wants to go home, don't you?
You're very good at this.
No, I mean, I was younger yet.
Probably next week. Well, I'll see you when you guys are leaving.
Yeah, Sharon's already gone.
I've been here longer than you.
Thank you.
It's a done deal, huh?
Yeah. Well, not done. It's going to take about 6 months. Well, probably by the end of 2024. But yeah, the state's already